All right. My name is William Kuskin, and I welcome everyone to the second Tech Friday session. This is a session led by Donna Hall of the Learning Design Group in Continuing Education, and it is on themed technology and education discussions. So today is on creating content and adding content to Canvas modules. The way we've been running these is that Donna takes us through the material, but as questions come up, she's happy to field them, and we have enough time that usually separate issues can also be discussed. Before we really get going, I would like to thank Donna Hall and the Continuing Ed Learning Design Group. We have some members here, Becky Christian and Deanna, I'm probably gonna mess up your last name. Montalegre?
Yeah.
Well, this group has done spectacular work for the College of Engineering and Applied Sciences. We are about to roll out a community course loaded with information, and particularly some template cartridges that faculty will be able to download. I believe this is a very powerful enhancement for the College of Engineering and Applied Sciences that will allow instructors to get a real leg up in course design. I was looking through it this morning. It's fabulous. And really, we owe Donna and her team many thanks for the hard work they put into that. So with no further ado, I am going to stifle myself and allow Donna to take control of the seminar. Thank you, Donna.
Hi, everybody. Again, just wanted to let you know, feel free to ask questions as I go through this. If I'm showing you something and you didn't quite catch it, ask me to repeat it. You know, I'm here to help you all. So, and if I get stumped, I've got Deanna and Becky here to help me. And if you ask us a question we're not sure of, we will find the answers and get back to everybody.
I do want to say a quick, I have to take off at 10 to 12 today, but I will be here for the full time next week. So it's nice to meet you all.
So yes, we are here to help you. Let me share my screen. So a couple of things to begin with. Our group is the Learning Design Group. We're with Continuing Ed. And we have a website that has a lot of tutorials in it. So if you come into our website, and Deanna or Becky, can you all put the URL in the chat?
Yeah, I can.
You come to the remote. And it talks about remote and kind of will walk you through stuff. But some other things to be aware of in here, resources. We have some video information, exam proctoring, resources that you can download or link to for your students to tell them how to do things. And then we also have tutorials. And this is a really long list, so don't get overwhelmed by it. If you really have a question, you can email our group and we'll just help you with what you need to be helped with, either one-on-one or in one of our sessions. Okay, the other thing we have are virtual office hours. And this is every Wednesday, 2 to 3:30, every Thursday, 10:30 to 11:30, or 10 to 11:30, and the Zoom links here. So in those sessions, we just answer whatever questions anybody has. So you feel free to come into those also. Any questions on this? Okay. Just want to pull up chat so I can see it here. So content. A couple of things to be aware of with Canvas and content. Difference between pages and files. So you have two places you can store your content. Pages are HTML files, basically files that you can edit inside a Canvas. So this is an HTML file, I hit edit. Files are files that are not editable inside a Canvas. So if we go into files, you know, they're PDFs, Word documents, images, that kind of stuff. So just be aware of that. There's a difference there. The other thing to be aware of with content is what you don't want to do is upload media files like videos or podcasts into files. The reason for that is there is a limit to the size your course can be, which is 10,000 megabytes or 10 gigs. So if you're uploading a lot of big media files, you could hit the limit for your course pretty quick. The other thing is Canvas is not a streaming server. So students on a slow internet connection would have problems viewing your videos. What you want to do if you have videos is come into My Media and upload them to Kaltura. And as soon as this loads, and you can do that with the media upload. Real important, and this is everything Canvas. Chrome is your friend. You want to use Chrome. We've seen issues with Safari, especially with media uploads with things being slow. We've definitely seen issues with Edge, and occasionally we see issues with Firefox. So highly recommend if you don't have Chrome, go get it and keep it updated and use it in Canvas. Okay. So we want to create content. Well, each one of these little groups is a module. And that kind of groups your content together. And before you get started, you kind of want to think about how do you want to group your content. You can see here, I've got like a getting started module that has my syllabus and the schedule and all the administrative stuff of the course. And then I start with modules. Some people call them modules. Some people say they're weeks. So think about how you're going to do it. I've seen some people that group by type of content and not by what they do each week or each module. Really think about that because, you know, a lot of students are on small devices and phones. And if you're not grouping all related content together, they might miss it. So we highly recommend that you think about grouping a chunk of material that they have to do for a week or a module together. Just makes it easier for students, especially, again, ones on small devices. Any questions on that? Okay. So how do you...
Donna, the pages in the files, it will only work within one course. So I cannot upload files or pages and then access them for another course. Because I remember
so if I go into files here, we have the course files. Okay. You also have a My Files area. Deanna, Becky, help me out. How do I get to that? I'm drawing a complete blank.
That's okay.
To the course. Oh, go ahead.
Go for it, Becky.
No. You're good. Go.
Okay, you're trying to get to the course files, Donna?
The My Files. So this is the course files.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for some reason it's not showing your two folders. You should have a folder that is actually all of your files, like globally, and then one folder for the files of the course. For some reason it's not showing.
I remember where it is.
But if
So if you go to your account, files, then you have my files.
Okay.
So if you put them in here, you can access them from courses.
Okay.
And then you'll see we have it for each course. I apologize for the blank. I'm not getting much sleep right now with getting the community course up for you all. So
No apologies, Donna. You're doing great.
but Donna, one thing is, unless that was a new update, there was, when you were in any course, you were able to see my files and the course specific files.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That recently changed.
Okay. So anyway, you can see those pages is specific to a course, but here's the cool thing, and this is a brand new tool. So if I go into pages and then I view all pages, if say, oh, I would really like this in another course, I can drop the little 3 dots here and go copy to. It's then going to ask me what course. So I have another course. And I could say I want it to copy to that one, and it will copy.
That is so
If a
helpful.
person sees a course or something in your course and goes, oh, would you mind sharing that file with me? You can actually, again, do this and do send to and put the person's, you'll need their identity, but you can send it to them. So this is brand new. This has only been around for a month or two, which makes it really nice, because I've done that where I've edited something or done it. Just remind people to be careful if you're sending something that's named exactly what they have a file in theirs, that it could overwrite it. It might not. I've seen it overwrite it sometimes, and I've seen it not overwrite sometimes.
So just to review, my files should be across all your courses, but it seems like there's possible changes that have occurred there. Pages is unique to one course, and you can export by using the copy feature to different courses, so you don't have to remake pages.
Yeah. So in the files you can't, but in pages you can. So notice in files I don't have a send to.
Both of these are.
The other way to do it would be to go, say that again?
Both of these are repositories that inform the different courses, which you were explaining. You organize that material into modules.
Yeah.
Modules, pages, and files. Martha?
Yeah. I think of modules like a folder.
Okay.
That's all a module is. It's a folder that contains related materials.
So I have a question about, let's say you've created a module which is for week 2 of your class. And that's going to include perhaps 2 video lectures, which I guess we'll talk about later, whether we do them on Zoom and trying to import them, or whether we do them through Canvas. I don't know. But you said we shouldn't upload any media to files. We always have to put it in My Media. But we can, if we put a lecture in My Media, can we, how do we that?
I'm going to show you all of that.
So
let's do it. So right here, we're going to create a module. And I can name it whatever I want to name it. So I'm going to name this week 10. Because I don't think I have a week 10 in here. I can actually set it so students can't access it to a specific time.
Okay.
I'm going to make a comment about this, and this is my experience as a student. I have a pain disorder that there are days I can't function at all. And as a student, I like to work ahead because I knew I would have those. When you lack stuff so I can't work ahead, it really made it difficult for me. With all the things going on in the world right now and COVID, and with students who may get sick and or have to deal with family members that are being sick, think about how this might affect them if you don't let them work ahead. So you want to encourage your students to be successful. You know, I always suggest to my students they do stay ahead in case life happens. So just be aware of that when you're locking stuff. You can also add a prerequisite that they have to complete a module before they can get to this one. So if you want to keep them so they're not jumping around, you can do that. Okay, so we've created our week 10 module. And I didn't hit. Add module, and it's all the way down here at the bottom. I want to move it up to a different order. I'm going to just put it at the top so I don't have to keep scrolling down. So you can see we can just drag it up and down. When you first create it, you get this that I can add files. What's really cool about this, if you got a bunch of files on your computer that you want to add to your course, I can drag and drop. Okay, it's going, you know, you got one, I can replace it, I can skip, I can change the name. So it won't let you, it'll prompt you on overriding. I'm just going to say override it. So they're all in here. Now, this drag and drop is only available when you first start. Now that I've put stuff in here, it goes away. So now if I try to drag something else, it won't let me drag, okay? So if you're doing it right at the beginning, you can do that, okay? So let's think about what we want to create. I've got this module overview page that I like to give to my students that lists everything they have to do in this module, kind of like a checklist form. So I could come in here and I could go duplicate, and then I could go move to week 10 at the top, move. Okay. So then I can come in here when I edit it and take out the copy and put in, this is module 10 overview, module 10 overview, and now I have my file, okay? So if you've got something that you've created that's pretty close, a template, or you get the templates that we have, you've got it right here, okay? So say I'm in this, I want to edit it and add stuff. So with these templates, what you want to do is, if there's text already there, highlight it, type over it. Be careful if I delete this completely. Sometimes if I would do a copy paste, so let me get some text here so I can copy paste. So this time it did it. Sometimes I've had it end up where it comes up here and gets this formatting. So that's why I say when you're working with a module that has prompts, highlight the prompts, paste over the prompts, or highlight the text and type over it. Makes it a whole lot easier because it'll get a little finicky here. So if I want to now come down here and make a bulleted list, and I want to link to some readings, I can come over here and you'll see that I have options. I have pages, so if I had an HTML page, I could get it there, but this one's a file because it's PDF. I'm just going to come in here, find my lecture, click it, it puts it in. Okay. Again, if I had a page, I could come in here, find it, click it, it puts it in. Just like that. Pretty easy. Okay. So now I have videos. This one can get a little tricky. You got to be aware of where your cursor is. Okay. I usually like to put the title of the video and then afterwards say, you know, it's this many minutes. I just like to do that so students can see it. Again, this is a checklist. So now I want to put my cursor below this link. To do that where it doesn't, so if I just hit my enter key, it puts a number in.
Oh.
Okay. You go, no, I don't want the number there. If I hit my backspace, it takes me back. So to get down one line, I hit my shift enter, or on a Mac, I think it's shift return, and it'll drop it down a line. Questions on that? Are you good with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now I've got my cursor where I want it. Again, this is where I see the mistake everybody makes. They don't make sure where their cursor is first. So now I want to add my Kaltura video that I just uploaded. This little V right here. I'm going to click it and I'm going to embed Kaltura media. So, and this Kaltura sometimes takes a while to load. And I've also found that if it sits here like this, sometimes if you close it and do it a second time, it loads. Don't know why it's like that. So you have my media. You also have a shared repository. And the library has uploaded a lot of videos in this shared repository. Okay. So you just got to know what the video is called. And you can see, like, here's the Vietnam War, but there's a whole bunch of videos in here. So you just kind of know. But I just want one of mine. Okay. And I've got a, let's see, I've got a course tour I want to do. So I can drop this arrow down and decide whether I want large, medium, or small. I usually do medium if it's on a page with a lot of other stuff. So we just hit medium, put it in, there it is. Okay. Now I want to add a second video right under this one because it's maybe related to it. I don't want to do number 2. I want to do 1. Here's the mistake everybody makes. They think that this is down a line and it's not. You need to hit your enter key and come down a line. And it's playing games with me.
I see, it's tricky.
Donna, do it with the keyboard. Sometimes with the mouse, it just gets.
Yeah. So you need to get your cursor down a line. All right. So there is a blank space below it. If you leave your cursor set over here, it will put it right next to it. Okay. If I want to do the video here, again, I add the title, I hit my shift enter, I come back up here and do that. Say I want a YouTube video. I can come in here to YouTube. All right, here's a YouTube video. I can hit this share here, copy this URL.
So where did you find those YouTube videos?
I'm just in YouTube.
Yeah.
And I just searched for Canvas. So once I get the video I want, it's this share.
Okay.
There's the ability to get the URL and the embed code, but if you're not comfortable with HTML, just grab this URL. And I'm gonna paste it right there. And it actually, you'll see here, automatically embeds it for you. Okay, and you don't have control on the size, but when you click it, it gets bigger. And then if you want it full screen, you hit this.
Martha, did you want to slow down here? And
I got lost on where Donna went to find the YouTube site.
Okay,
so
all I did was youtube.com.
Okay,
Went
but
to it.
when you were in Canvas.
And no, this is just a different URL. I'm going directly to YouTube.
Okay.
Okay, so youtube.com. And then I just searched for Canvas.
Got it. Okay.
And then found a Canvas. And then I went, oh, it sounds interesting. Oh, this one sounds interesting. This might help. Or here's a student orientation tour. You know, just be aware if you go in here and you grab these, this is for a different college, so it won't look quite like ours. But I then come in, start it.
Welcome to your Canvas online class.
And then click this share.
Got it.
And copy this URL.
Okay.
Okay. Questions on that?
In your module, there was a little icon for YouTube. What's that good for? Right next to where you were uploading. So if you go up, up, up.
So what do you mean? This?
No, Donna, you have to be in the edit mode. I know what she's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So go in the edit mode,
Thank
and
you.
there is a YouTube link
That's
directly.
right. There's a little YouTube link.
So
right
the
on.
thing about that YouTube link that is right next to the Google Drive icon, Donna, in the toolbar.
Mm-hmm.
This?
No, in the
Oh,
toolbar.
this.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, like, some of the videos that you want to find in YouTube are not connected to that service. So you might, if you click there, you can actually look for YouTube video, like put the name of the YouTube video that you're trying to look for. Sometimes it might bring it up, sometimes it might not.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why I never use this, because I can never find what I'm
Okay.
looking for. And because it automatically embeds it, it's easier for me to go directly to the YouTube's website and find what I really want.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So the other thing I can add in here, I've got some discussions, I've got some quizzes. So notice if I put my cursor there, over here in our list, we've got discussions. So I can just click it, it's there. I want a quiz. I can click quizzes. I can put it there, other than that's a survey. I can, I have an assignment. I can click assignments and add it. So real fast and easy to add links to everything. So always kind of look over here what you want. If you want to link to a module, so say, last one is start reviewing module 11.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Other than I don't have a module 11, but I can highlight this. And if I had a module 11, I would go to modules and find a module 11. We're going to pretend it's module 11. And it links it. So I can either not have text and put it in and it just grabs whatever it's called, or I can put my own text in, highlight that text and click it, and it'll say whatever the text is. Okay. So say, you know, I save this and I come down here and I'm testing it to make, so you always test your links. And I go, click it and oops, wrong module, I messed up, okay? So what I can do here is edit it again. So once a link's created, all you do is click in it, don't highlight the text. And then I can come in here and change the module, okay? What you don't want to do with a link that's made, you don't want to highlight the text and then try to change it, or you end up with a double link. Okay, so we've got all of these, and when I click them, what it does is it opens in this same page, so it replaces this page. If you have something you want to open a separate page, if I now click inside of one of these and hit Control K or Command K, it'll open this up and I can then say new window. Does that make sense? Any questions on that? Okay. So that's making content. And I can always remember to hit save. The other thing you want to remember when you're creating content in modules, notice this module is not published, even though all of these are. If the module itself is not published, they can't see this.
So
you got to make sure that's published.
Donna, while we're at this level, thinking about this module, there are 4 items in the module. Module 10 overview, in fact, connects to these items, or it could. Module 10 overview acts as a kind of gateway to all the items. So in a way, you could hide these items and just have module 10 overview so that students open that and have
the overview. Yeah, you wouldn't even have to, you just wouldn't even, you wouldn't even add these links. You would just link them inside the overview.
Yeah, it's like a table of contents.
Yeah.
It's a table of contents, and it might be a very clean way of organizing the module and of also organizing your own mind so that you don't have so many items in the module.
So let me show you a course here real quick. So you can kind of see a module that's created. So you can see here, all he's got in his modules, he likes weeks, 2 weeks per module. So he's got the module overview, and the only thing that he has linked in the module itself are the things students have to submit. And it's just kind of that second place to remind students, this is due this week. But his overview, he then, you know, has a little introduction, has his objectives. Then under week 1, here are the links to all of his readings. Here are the links to all of the lectures he wants. Okay. And then here are the assignments, everything they've got to submit. And then week 2, same thing. The nice thing is now if they go next, here's, here's the discussion they have to do this week. So it's right there. This is a really clean, stripped down. He just uses a module overview and then what they have to submit. And I highly recommend that, you do the overview and at least what they have to submit, just to make it. So I'm one of those people, anything they have to submit, I want it 3 different places at least. So, they've got it in the overview, they've got it in here. I will give them an announcement. If they click assignments, they will see it there. There's no way they can tell me they didn't know it wasn't there. And I've actually had a student tell me that. And I go, well, let's look at the course here. And let's see, I see it here. I see it in the schedule. I see it here. I'm really sorry you missed that. And he's like, no, I'm good. He just backed down really quick.
So the redundancy is wonderful, but from the point of view of trying to get your head around what's in your own module, you could simplify it down to the overview. Yeah. With the links.
And what I tell everybody, what the overview does, and especially with now, and especially if you let them know the time on the videos, they can look at this page and kind of figure out how much time they need to spend this week. So they can set it up. If you don't have an overview page, then it's harder from them to really comprehend how much time they may or may not have to spend this week in the course. And because of COVID and everything else, it's really important to help them with that.
Donna, can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
Something about putting videos, all of the videos and everything in just the overview page and not having them on modules might cause what we call cognitive overload. So for students that have any kind of learning disability, they might see that there is one page with everything in it at once, and that might overwhelm them and they might just break down. My expertise is accessibility, so that's why I bring it up.
Okay. So again, you
related
can do
to
just
that,
the links and not a bit.
You mentioned earlier that our students often are going to be gaining access to this through their phones. Is a more stripped down module page better or worse for students who are using, trying to figure out just based on what's on their phone screen rather than a full computer screen?
It's in some ways one's better, and the other ways others better. The scrolling, it depends on their phone. The other thing I've seen, and I saw one instructor that actually put all of her module overviews in one page with all of her videos and everything else. So she had tabs. Mm-hmm. So if we come in here, this is has tabs, but she had a module 1 tab, module 2, module 3, module 4, module 5. And then inside of each one of those modules, she had tabs for the videos, and the pages took forever to load. Mm. So the other thing you got to remember is not everybody's on a high-speed internet connection. If you're up in the mountains or you're in another country, you might be slow. So take that into consideration on how much you're loading. So that it doesn't, they just give up because nothing loads. Okay?
Mm-hmm. So related to all this.
Donna, there is a question in the chat. I don't know if you saw it or
Let me look. Assignment is within a module that is not yet published based on, say, that it's being due during the module. Will that override the assignment open date? Or does the assignment open date allow the assignment to open even if the module is not published yet? If the module is not published yet, they won't even see it.
But they will be able to see it on their assignments.
Yeah, they will be able to get in here and they will see it here.
Correct, but not modules.
Yeah. So yeah, they won't see it in the module because they won't see the module, but they will see it in the assignment. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
So related to the video. So you said we shouldn't put videos directly into the modules, but rather in My Media. And then the way that you linked things in was into that module 10 overview page. What if you just wanted to have a link, right, at this level for the student?
So what I could do here is hit this plus sign. So just be aware. Here's the plus sign to add a module. Here's a plus sign to add stuff in the module. So I can hit this plus sign and you can see I can put in a direct link to an assignment quiz, a file, a page, a discussion. I can do a text header, which if you like to have like sub modules, there's not really a sub module in Canvas. You can use a text header. I can then link to an external URL or I can link to an external tool. Usually what I tend to do is just create a page and go new page and whatever the title of the video is. Add the item. Now I can edit it. I can go, make sure you watch this video and, my students are Martian.
But there's no, so they would have to click twice to get to the video. I'm just wondering.
You have to click twice.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, and then I could insert the video. Okay. Some other things to be aware of. If I have said I made a link, let's see, we'll just go to that one. I've linked that and I go, oh, wrong link. Again, I can click it. I can do the Alt K or Command K. Open it up. I can change the URL. Or I go, I really don't want to link that at all. I can click it and break the link. So I can remove the link. And now it's gone. If I want to do a table, I can come in here, highlight however many cells, put a table in. And with the table, really important, that table is not used to lay out content. Tables are to present data, which means you need to have headings for tables. Not just to lay it out, but I want to lay it out and I go, oh, I don't really want this row. I can delete the row here. I can insert a row before, after. I can delete the column. So I just put my cursor in the column. I can delete the column. I can also delete the table if I don't really want it. So a lot of people don't know about that one. If I want to insert an image, I can use a URL. I can go to images, and here's where you see my files. Or I can go into my course files. Let's see, there's an image. If the image has meaning, you need to, in the alt text, say what the meaning is. So the way I explain this is, say I put a picture of a tree in. Depending on what course it is what the meaning of that tree means. If I'm in a philosophy course, this might be the tree of life, and we're philosophizing about the tree of life. If I'm in a botany course, this is an oak tree with, with red leaves. Or so you've got to, it's not tree. You've got to tell students what they should get from looking at that picture. Okay, did I explain that good, Diana?
Yes, yeah, pretty much that's what it means. You wanna make sure that you describe what the picture is trying to convey. So it's just not the physical description of the image, because yeah, I might have a tree and I say tree with green leaf. Yeah, but what is the meaning of the tree with green leaves? So if it's a combination of both, of in the way they actually can picture, in their heads, the tree with green leaf, but what is that tree conveying, what information is conveying, that will be best. Also in that alt text there, don't put more than 150 characters, because if it's something more than that, then it's actually better to just mark it as decoration and then put a paragraph underneath that image explaining the image. That usually works really good for complex graph, that you actually have an image of the graph and it will be too much to explain the alt text. And you actually want to give that information not only for the students that are using a screen reader, but for those users that might have a hard time understanding the graph itself. So just put a paragraph below the image or above the image explaining what it is.
Okay, so I can upload an image. I can also go to Flickr and try to find something. So let's see, what should we do? Storm. Seeing that it's supposed to be stormy today. There we go, and I can grab that. Notice it's saying storm for an alt text, which I either need to make this decorative or say, if I'm in a class about weather, I need to say what type of cloud formation this is. Okay. And then I can update it. If I need to resize it, I can resize it. Any questions on that?
Donna, when you said, and you were in, I remember, I don't know the name of the other person who was explaining about the decoration. Where do I write the description of it? I didn't see it as an option when you were including this image.
I can do the 120, 150 characters right here with the alternative. It's called alternative text or alt text. If I need to say more than that, you're just gonna click below the image. And then
understood. I thought there was a specific space when, in the other little window where I would write that down.
Yeah. No.
Got it. Thanks.
Okay, so something, and it'll always prompt you, you didn't save, are you sure you want to leave? And I want to leave. Something else to be aware of when you're setting up a page, and I'm just going to go into this one to make it easier. So when you are designing your page, and what we see a lot is that people, they've got a title here and all they do is highlight it. So they come in here, they highlight this and they make the text bigger. Excuse me, text bigger and they make it bold. And then they highlight this and they make it bold and change the size of the text. Okay, you don't want to do that. What you want to do is use this where it's a paragraph is just regular text. A header 2 would be the very first header you have in your course. Header 3s would be something under it. So think about headers as your outline. So if I collapse this page down to only showing me the headers, it would look exactly like an outline, okay? So, and you don't want to force size on anybody, because as a student or anybody, if I don't like this size, I can zoom it. I can make it as big as I want it, okay? Or if I'm one of those students that have really, really good eyes, they actually will zoom it smaller and get more on a page. So don't force a font size on your students because you need it bigger for you. Instead, zoom in your browser in or out and get it the size you want it. And that's, I've got my whole computer set up to show me larger font because I've got old eyes. So be aware of that.
The reason why this is important, it's because the minute that you change the font size, that you force the font size, the page is not gonna be responsive anymore in other devices. Meaning right now, if I see that page in a phone, the page is actually gonna get the size of the screen of the phone. If I get it in the size of a tablet, it's gonna exactly like it's happening right now. If shrinking or expanding, depending of the size of the screen. If I change the font size, it won't be responsive anymore, and it's gonna make the students scroll from left to right, which is gonna be difficult for them to read.
Okay. So let your Canvas and your browser set the font. And a lot of students will actually go in and change the default font in their browser so that every page they go to changes. So you can't force them. The other thing to be aware of when you're doing content is you don't want to say, make sure to pay attention to everything marked in red. Anybody have an idea about how the percentage of the number of students in your class that are colorblind? 20%. So if you tell someone to pay attention to the red text, 20% of your students can't see it. Or it might not look red to them. Or if you make it green and say the important stuff is in green, 20% of your students might not be able to tell what green is. Okay, so be aware of that also.
Another thing, Donna, before I forget, don't change the font type, even though Canvas offers you the option, because of dyslexic students. Students that are dyslexic are not able to really understand well other font types that have the little feet at the end of each letter. Those are called serif fonts, like Times New Roman. That's why Canvas actually have that one that is sans serif fonts. Yeah, like right now, I'm dyslexic myself, so for me that's actually really hard to read. Donna, I don't know if you have the dyslexic, oh my God, that little tool that is in Google.
Let me see if I can find it here. Hang on. We had a little tool that simulates stuff, which is kind of interesting to look at. And I don't remember if I have it bookmarked here.
If not, I think I have it. Yeah,
I don't see it. It's not bookmarked on this computer.
It is, Donna. It is the one that is the second from left to right, next to your bookmark. I mean, your above your bookmark. Up next to your, yep. keep going to the right. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Up there.
This one?
Nope.
No.
Your icons.
Oh.
Yep, it's the second one from left to right. That one.
There we go.
Excellent.
So this is kind of a cool little tool, and it's actually a plug-in for Chrome. And I can go, I want to simulate dyslexia, and the severity is 30%. And notice what it's doing here. It simulates it. That's what a dyslexic student will see.
So
They have real bad dyslexia, it gets even worse.
Yeah, so if you see, actually for me, even when it's doing that, when I'm really tired, it does that. But because the letters are very simple, they don't have any like extra lines or decoration, I still can figure it out. Like I can figure it out what it says. If the letters actually are the ones that have the little feet or the decoration, this is harder for me to figure it out which one is which one. So we learn to decode faster than a person that doesn't have dyslexia, because the letters are always moving for us. It's like ants on a paper. So that's why we recommend that you don't change the letters or the font.
And then you can actually see your pages color. They've got tunnel vision, so if you've lost vision or central vision, it just shows you that. And a lot of students don't like to identify with me and what I have. I don't like to identify that I have it. I just kind of work through it. So you can see here, I can do a screen reader imitator, but I gotta turn this one off.
I have a question about the color blindness issue, because what I've done in the past is upload pictures where knowing what the colors are is actually really important. So it's kind of art history. So one of the pictures I've used in the past is of a chapel in Paris with very, very vibrant stained glass. And I want them to be able to see that because it tells them something about the character of religion in pre-modern Europe. Would students not be able to see that? And would they just wouldn't see the blueness, for example?
Yeah, they wouldn't see it.
I shouldn't be doing?
Well, no, you can put the picture in, but then have a paragraph explaining what you just told us.
Okay.
So just explain what they should do. Or if you're like, I really want them to figure it out, have a discussion where they're talking about it. So you got to give the students that can't see the color some context.
Okay.
So, I like to use a discussion to maybe expand upon something. So you get an image, what do these colors mean to you? And you might have a student identify and say, I can't see the colors, so they have no meaning. And then you get a really good conversation about just that. So how do you help a person that can't see it? Like I have a friend who has no depth perception. And we were standing on the Royal Gorge Bridge. And her comment to me was, it would sure be nice to be able to see what you all are so excited about. To her, it looked completely flat. So, and I always had questions about her driving ability, but she never identified, and that's how I did it. And then I started noticing she did the way she would pour water or milk in a glass, how she had to do that kind of stuff. But it's a really good conversation for students to have, if something like that really has meaning, to let them know not everybody can get that meaning that way. You're going to have to, you need to discuss it.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions? Okay, what else would you like to see? Because I've kind of put everything out. I can show there's some advanced tools, but I don't want to overwhelm anybody here.
Donna, I have a question regarding announcements. So in the deck that you provided an announcement, also to-do list. And for that, in order for it to be used, how would I use it? Because it's not an announcement is not a page, right? So do I have to copy?
So think about it, and this is the easiest way. It's not in the pages, but you still have the HTML editor.
That's right. So I copy
it. You can edit it just like a page.
Got it.
Okay. Now
No,
the
but
way
what I'm talking about is the template. So the template, in order for this to appear here, I would have to copy the HTML code of the template and copy it here in order for it to appear with the headings and the little icons and so forth.
Yeah, or just when you import that course package in, it should bring in those announcements.
It does, but I don't know, when I use a new one, then I get a blank page. So I don't know how to recreate that one to a new announcement.
Yeah, then you could just copy the announcement, and I'm just, all right, hang on. So we're gonna make an announcement, and I don't remember this, so I'm gonna just look. So it doesn't let me duplicate it. Copy to, I'm gonna see if it'll let me put this right back into my course. Sometimes the copy to won't let you copy to the course you're in, but let's see if it will. Copy. Close, refresh. No, so it doesn't let me. Yeah, it did. So then I could now edit this and make it announcement too. So that would be the better way to do it. So now if I go to announcements, I now have my 2 announcements. Does that make sense?
Donna, are these announcements linked to emails? So if I type in an announcement, they get it as an email as well?
No,
or
well,
do the
it
students
depends
only
on
check through
each
Canvas?
student. So you've got notifications here. Every person decides what they want to be notified on.
Ah, I see.
Okay, and whether they want an email or they want a text message or they want it, so you can't rely on it.
I have a small question comment. If you do some copy of the announcement, you may send immediately the announcement to the student. So you may send a copy of the same announcement to everybody. I know this is happening or not, but
the thing is, like, those announcements copies, even if they're email within Canvas, and some of the students do not use the email in Canvas. They don't have the notifications on. Canvas does not communicate with our CU system, so it's not going through the Colorado.edu email that they actually have access to more easily. It just goes to the Canvas email, and if they don't use it or they don't have those notifications on, it's just gonna be the same process that Donna was showing.
no, I understand, but the only thing that maybe is a small mistake or worry, if you make some copy, you may send the previous announcement to the student that you want to modify. So this is just in the middle of the copy process.
Yeah. So yeah, they might get a notification. The big thing is come in here and edit it at least enough, announcement, I'm, under construction.
Yeah.
Something that just lets them know you're working on it.
Okay. No, this is the only comment that I have.
The other
I have noticed
thing
when
to
I
be
do
aware of an announcement, if I edit it here, I can also delay the posting. So I can say, don't show this to students until a later date. So what I suggest to people, especially like this to-do list, make them all before the class starts. And then set them to display at certain times. The Thursday or Friday before the next semester, the next module, or something that does that. Okay.
There is a technical, I have some technical problem when I set up a delay in the announcement. I was doing during the day, and I tried to post during the afternoon, and the student didn't get it. I think there's some process that take 1 day at least, or something like that, to process the publication time.
Yeah. Well, and the notifications, so if I go back into notifications, you have everybody has, do I want to be notified right away? Send it once a day, only send it once a week.
Okay.
So again, you can't rely on notifications because you don't know how each person set it up. So real important that in your, when you start the beginning of the semester, in your welcome message or your course tour, give them, you need to log in daily or every 2 days and check the announcements. Check your email. Tell them or remind them what they're supposed to do, because every instructor does it differently. So you need to let them know what they need to know about your class and how you communicate with them. Especially right now, students are, and I'm sure you've seen it with other people, are a little more worried about things. And so they need the security of you communicating often with them. Make sure when you're communicating, you tell them how you're going to communicate. Is everything in announcements? Are you going to use your colorado.edu emails? Are you going to use the email in Canvas? Let them know how you will communicate with them and how they will communicate with you. And be very specific. I have seen instances where students have decided to communicate with an instructor through Twitter and did not understand why the instructor was not responding because they should have, or they posted something in Facebook. And why did the instructor not respond? You have to be very specific nowadays with how you will communicate with your students. Okay?
Donna, if a student has do not send me anything checked, does that include messages? Will they not get messages that we send through Canvas?
The email they'll get in their email. So if I'm a student and I would see a dot here that tells me that I have stuff, but I have to come into Canvas and look.
Okay. So they, even if they don't notify me of anything, our message will still go through and be appearing.
Yeah, the email will still go through, but they won't get any alert that it's there.
Okay. And related to that question, when we use the message feature in Canvas and we're messaging, say, 5 of our 10 students, and say we're messaging students who didn't submit an assignment, are those students blind copied or carbon copied?
They're blind copied.
So we don't ever need to worry about carbon copy in that instance. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
So with the notifications, is there a default so that unless the student goes in and changes it, it will always be notify me right away? Or I mean, I had no idea that this function even existed until now.
No, I don't remember what the default was.
The default is almost all of them are off, Donna, by default.
Okay, so it might be do not send me anything.
They're all off?
Yeah, most of them are off, except for us that we are admins, we have some defaults that are actually on, but for the instructors, most of them are off.
Okay.
So, and this might be something when you do a course tour is to go through this. You know, for this class, it's really important that you will find this helpful if you have these notifications turned on and you have, you know, notify me right away or whatever. So, and notice this is notify me right away. This is send a daily summary. This is send a weekly summary. So on this, I have it set to do not send me any changes in course content.
So Donna, this is something we may want to work into the community course and the templates, because this communications is essential. And if a student with no knowledge has everything set to don't tell me, it could be a real problem. So it really might be worthwhile for us to develop in the community course a very short video that says, we request that you turn on your notifications.
Well, and it's not, you got to say specifically what notifications.
Yeah,
and
like a little video that takes them to the notifications and says, turn this on, turn this on, turn this on.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you will not know what's going on in your course.
In our learning design website, we have a number of videos in about notifications. Yeah, yeah, be specific, but that doesn't mean the students will do it if you tell them. I'm sure you've all discovered that. And you don't tell them they have to. You say, I highly recommend. Because we know what happens when you say you must.
Right. Right.
Okay, so while we're in the account, something to be aware of. Notice I have my picture in the account. You do that through your profile right here. You just click the image and put your own image in. What's really nice, if you have this here, you can then actually get it to show up. It'll show up in discussions, it'll show up, and then any new announcements you post. It makes it more personal, but you'll notice that, you know, I've created this home page, and in it, I have this placeholder for my picture. Oh, I can actually, and this is a little more advanced. This is, there's a tool called City Labs, and it gives you a little more as far as design options, and it's how we created all of this. So if you are using, say, the intermediate or the advanced templates that we put in the community course, it's helpful to just know some basics in City Labs. The real basics are, I want to turn the City Labs design tool on. I am going to hit Command and the number 1. And what it'll do is open this design tools up. Okay. I don't really want this image. I've got my own course image that I want to use. If I click this image and then I go create and edit content, you will see it'll say choose a banner image. I can now see every image that's in my course. And I've decided it's really hot out. I would like snow. There it is.
So Rhonda,
Okay.
I was fooling around with exactly this morning, and I was using the advanced cartridge, and I just deleted the image and popped an image right in from my computer, and it seemed to hold. I didn't use the City Lab.
It will. It can be a little picky on occasion. This is just a quick way where you don't do it, but yeah, I could just delete this image.
That's what I
Put
did.
my cursor there, do image,
That's what I did.
come into Canvas, find my files. So say I want that one. I don't even know what size that is.
That's what I did.
It'll put it in. So you can do it that way.
So how do we get this template to start with?
So there's going to be a community course that's released to you all. Let me pull it up here.
Martha, we've been building this for the College of Engineering, and I'm not sure it'll be released to A&S.
Okay.
That could be something we could work on.
Okay. Because you probably know that the A&S sent this announcement out to all of us, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So we actually have some basic templates that are, and if you see here, if I go into the syllabus, it's just basic text. And then we have intermediate, which is in the course that I've been playing around in. And then we have advanced that has some pretty advanced features in it. If you see something that you want and you don't have access to the community course and would like to have what I've been showing in my sandbox or some basic stuff, I can always copy it into a course for you.
Wow.
What we recommend people do, everybody should have a sandbox. If not, you can request it. So be aware, if you have access to a lot of courses, they might not show up in your list here. You just click all courses.
Okay.
Then you can kind of scroll down and find a course. And then if you want to move it so that it's at the top of your list and shows in your dashboard, all you do is get the star, and that marks it as a favorite, and that puts it on your dashboard.
Oh, okay.
There's so many details.
So I don't have access to enough courses here that I'm a designer or a teacher to, so it doesn't show. I don't have to worry about it, but if I know a lot of instructors have access to maybe 40 or 50 courses from previous semesters, this is the way you can make sure that it shows up so you can find it.
So we're coming to the end of our time, and I wanted to sum up. I'm not sure we're quite finished, but maybe if I started summing some stuff up, we could add to it in the last 10 minutes here. I see three large-scale areas that Donna has taught us about. One is the relationship between the modules, pages, and files. And the modules are essentially a folder system sequenced on the screen that contain the elements of the course that you can draw from your media, your pages, and your files. One thing I was thinking, that as one organizes one's course, one might want to lay out the modules on one's desktop at home, because what Donna showed us is that it's very easy to load everything directly into the modules in the beginning. So if you organized your syllabus week by week and created folders, you could see how they organize, and then you could load them into the modules. That's just one idea. Modules, files, pages, and media was the first lesson I took. The second lesson I took was the importance of an overview as a way of organizing each individual module. That led me to think that the overview was all you needed. But Donna made a very nice point about redundancy, that students need to see things a few places in order to find their way. So if the first point, to my mind, was about modules, the second point was about overview and redundancy. That led in to a third point, which I kind of understood as every human being is unique. And that third point I took to be that, listen, the screen is a difficult world. 20% of our students are colorblind, many are dyslexic, many cannot see images or cannot see them the way you see them, the way I see them. So we need not only to be redundant, but to be very sensitive to how they understand and perceive what we are putting out. And that would call, first thing, for simplicity, right? It would behoove us to shave down as much as we can and make our messages simple. But it also, I think, called for communication. And the end result of that was we're in for a little bit of a challenge with the communication announcement tool, because students may not know that they are deaf to our communications unless we tell them. So those were the 3 points I took. Does anyone else want to expand some of my points or add on, build on, correct?
So I see there's one question in the chat before we expand. Recommend starting a course from scratch. You can use the templates in an already created course. You just have to be really careful pulling them in, because if the files are named the same thing as what your files are named, it could overwrite them. So if you're bringing in a course package, I would highly recommend doing that in a blank course. And then what you can do is, if you just keep it in a blank course, put them in there, you can delete, you can get rid of these modules. And here's something you can come in here and I can just delete this whole module. It will not delete these, it just removes the links. These will still be in Pages, so be aware of that. But also be aware, if I'm in a file that I'm editing, and then I click View Pages, I'm not in the module anymore, I'm in Pages. If I delete one of these, it's removed from the course. Now there is a little trick if you accidentally delete something, where I can come up here and you can see there's a number and then a slash. And if I change that to, Deanna, is it undelete?
Yes.
This is a trick no one knows. This will show me everything I've deleted in the course.
Wow.
I can actually restore it.
Wow.
Notice I've got announcements in here.
That's the
Assignments.
defibrillator.
Work, by the way. Sometimes it's kind of easy.
We don't tell people that because we want them to be really careful with that word delete, but we might be able to get it back for you.
Holy moly.
But I recommend everybody keep a copy of everything you have in your course on your home computer and a backup hard drive. I'm one of those people that have 3 copies of everything. So no matter what, I won't lose it. And then I don't have to worry about it. So Alyssa, did that answer your question about using the?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay. So other people that would like to summarize.
This was incredibly helpful.
It was very helpful. Thank you, Donna.
Yeah.
So the big thing again is we have the virtual office hours. We have them in Canvas. You can see when they are if you're not sure, and the link. We have these meetings every Friday, or you can just contact us, email us, and then one of the designers in the group will get back to you. We are here to help however we can. We tell everybody the only stupid question is an unasked question. So we've all had to learn this. We all understand that, you know, the basics. If you got the basics, the rest gets there. So don't worry about, oh, I don't want to ask this question. We've all been there. If you've asked the question, you know you've asked it a couple times and you're still not sure, ask it again. That's what we're here for, is to help you.
All right. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Deanna. Thank you, everyone, for attending. We'll post this video as soon as we can. I wish you all well, and I look forward to seeing you in the near future. Onwards.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you so much.
Uh-huh. All right.